People queue to fill containers with water from a tank provided by UNICEF in Sanaa, Yemen. Some 14.5 million people in the country have no access to safe drinking water and adequate sanitation. Copyright UNICEF Al Gabal 2017. The 17th of November 2017, the United Nations Relief Wing on Friday warned of famine-like conditions unfolding in Yemen, as a blockade on aid and other essential goods by a Saudiled coalition fighting Houthi rebels there enters its 12th day. Jens Laerke, spokesperson for the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs OCHA, had the alarm during the regular bi-weekly news briefing in Geneva. He was responding to a question from a journalist who asked him to clarify a warning yesterday from UNAID chiefs that the closure of air, sea and land ports in Yemen threatened millions of vulnerable children and families. It means that these are the number of people in areas where there's an IPC for Integrated Phase Classification 4, which is the last step before obviously 5, which is famine. But you are correct, there may be, as we speak right now, famine happening, and we hear children are dying. I mean, there is excess mortality as a cause and consequence of undernourishment. Yemen imports up to 90% of its daily needs, including fuel, which has now reached crisis levels. Reserves are in such short supply that 3 Yemeni cities have been unable to pump clean water to residents in recent days, according to UN partner the Red Cross. This has left 1 million people at risk of a renewed cholera outbreak, just as the country emerges from the worst epidemic in modern times. Other diseases are also a threat, including diphtheria, a serious infection of the nose and throat that's easily prevented with a vaccine. It's spreading fast and has already claimed 14 lives, according to the World Health Organization (WHO), which said that a vaccination campaign is planned in 9 days' time. In addition to water and sewage problems in Hodeida, Sanaa and Taiz, the Red Cross warned that the capital Sanaa and other cities will find themselves in the same situation in 2 weeks unless imports of essential goods resume immediately. Also at the briefing, Alessandra Vellucci, for the UN Information Service UNIS, recalled yesterday's statement in New York from Stéphane Dujarric, spokesman for the UN Secretary-General, regarding a letter the UN chief sent to the permanent representative of Saudi Arabia to the United Nations. In the letter, the Secretary-General said that the blockade imposed by the coalition since the 6th of November is already reversing the impact of humanitarian efforts. While he welcomed the reopening of Aden port, the Secretary-General noted that this alone will not meet the needs of 28 million Yemenis. As such, the Secretary-General called on the Saudiled coalition to enable the resumption of UN Humanitarian Air Service (UNHAS) flights to Sanaa and Aden airports, and the reopening of Hodeida and Salif ports so that fuel, food and medical supplies could enter Yemen.